Alright. Yeah, been alive up tonight. Yeah, been up alive. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night. Alright, now, tonight, I really wanted to do this live, you know. A gentleman came here with his wife, 2 days ago, son?
About 2 days ago, yes.
2 days ago. Had a stroke. And he has to go and do what we call speech therapy. Yeah? So he can be talking to you now, and then he space off. You know, and then he talks again. So, because he had a stroke, yeah? And we had 2 men and 1 woman today. Stroke again. 2 can't speak at all. The stroke, when you have a stroke, make sure that you don't lose your intellectual, because it's going to be much more difficult to get it back. So don't get a stroke now, prevent it. I'm going to show you how to do that. But if you know somebody who have one, lots of people who have a stroke, they can't speak. You see? And when you lose that speech, it is much more difficult to get the speech back. I mean, you lose the movement. You can work on the movement by doing massages, and you can do hyperbaric chamber therapy. We're going to talk about hyperbaric chamber therapy tonight, which is not promoted by lots of doctors. Yeah? So hyperbaric chamber therapy is very significant for people who had a stroke and want to recover. Yeah? Remember we said that I had a stroke at 32. Oh, your mom, right? What was it, your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my son and my son right here. His mom was going to school at the time to learn acupuncture, Chinese medicine, like I did. And that's why I don't smoke weed. I don't say don't smoke. I don't tell people to smoke the weed now, but that's why I don't smoke it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the weed that caused it, but after smoking these weed and stuff, I had a slight stroke, and then I could not speak. So that's what you just know. Once you're having a stroke, there are symptoms that you get. Yeah, like my mom, when I was there for her first stroke, she closed her eyes and she couldn't talk, and she was moving her head around like that. And I knew that she was getting a stroke because I had the symptom before. See? So all the family members that was there with my mom, they didn't know what to do. So I had to go and prick her ear and help to bleed the air. I'm going to show you how to do that too. And then automatically she came out of that stroke. And we could have taken her to the medical system, where she stayed for a couple of days. Now the second stroke was more drastic, and it killed my mother. Because her second stroke, she couldn't walk. Yeah? So I'm going to show you something that you can use to put on your ear that you can prevent a stroke. And if you know somebody is getting one, you can squeeze that, and it can prolong the person from getting the stroke, whereby you can call a doctor or you can take them to the ER. All right? But my stroke was at 32 years old, and I worked back to get my stuff together. It's a long process, you know. So don't get a stroke because it'll take long, especially if you lose the movements. So if you have a stroke over here, it's going to affect the right side. If you have a stroke on the right side, it's going to affect the left side. See? And once when you can't move your hands and your legs, and you have to drive, you're in trouble. So lots of stroke patients who have stroke or who had a stroke, you're going to notice that when they're going to move a hand, they will take the hand that's good to move the other hand to where it's supposed to go. After a while, they get used to doing that, so it is more difficult for them to get better, because they're so used to taking this hand and moving this hand, because this hand is not movable at all because of the stroke. So what we do is we try to use a lot of massaging of the brain, and we use a lot of these balls. You could use Chinese balls that go in your hands, and you can move them around in your hands to move the blood. The blood get back to the brain a little better. And those are things that you can do if you have a stroke. All right. But I want to get something to put in your ear right there. So if you're getting a stroke and somebody's there, they could press that area and they could bleed it with a lancet, and the stroke will disappear. Okay? All right? So we're going to go over here. What's on, son? And we're going to show you all now. Yeah? I'm going to stroke.
Don't get no stroke. A stroke ain't no joke. Don't get no stroke. Stroke ain't no joke.
All right. You see that? All right, see those little things right there? You see them little things right there? See them here? See them? They are very significant in helping to prevent strokes. And I'm going to show you where to put them on the air. And then they can also, you can bathe with them in the air, and you can change them every 10 or 14 days. You know, they go into one of the meridians in the air, and help to prevent you from getting a stroke. Or if you're having one and you press it, it can help to move the blood, dilate the blood vessels, so the blood clot go to the brain. Okay? Wonderful. Right. Remember we said before that you have the common carotid artery in this section, and you have the external carotid artery, and you have the internal carotid artery. If you're a nurse or a doctor, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this carotid artery sends the blood to the brain, because my mother had blood vessel disease. And that's what I tell the young people today. Young people, be careful how you consume your foods, because long term, if you are prone, and if these diseases are in your family, long term, when you get to the 30s and the 40s, you can get blood vessel disease. You understand? When you pass 50, even worse, because the vessels are weak. But I'm going to show you how you can strengthen these vessels and prevent strokes, and then you could have the blood moving properly. Okay? Wonderful. So the internal carotid artery sends the blood to the brain. And then you have the external carotid artery, and that sends the blood to the face. This one over here sends the blood to your face. This one sends the blood to the brain. So lots of people who got a stroke is because they had some form of blockage somewhere, or they had weak vessels in the brain that can cause the patient or the client or the person to get what we call an aneurism. Meaning that the vein in the brain started bulging. And that is what my brethren Logie died from. He had an aneurysm in his brain. And he was in the bathroom taking a shower, and the vein burst in his brain, and he died. Some people can survive because you can get the aneurysm anyway. You can get the aneurysm in your stomach too. But a lot of people who are older and have high blood pressure, or have heart disease, or have troubles in the vessels, when the vessels are very weak, they in turn can get what we call blood vessel disease, because that is what my mother had. So I have to be very careful not eating the same food that she had eaten, see? So I could strengthen these vessels in my brain. Because once these vessels here bust, and they call it a hemorrhage too. Once they hemorrhage, you're going to have troubles. You're going to can't walk, you're going to can't talk, you're going to lose movement, and you would never ever have a good quality of life. Your quality of life going to be limited. You see? So me, Patrick, yeah, I told myself I will never get another stroke again, because I didn't like how I felt when I was getting my stroke. You follow me? Yeah? So once the carotid artery is clogged, You want to send the blood to the brain because the blood movement is significant. Then all of a sudden, if there's a clot in the brain or you have a hemorrhage in the brain, you can get a stroke, especially if you have high blood pressure and your pressure is 200 systolic, 125 diastolic for a long period of time. You are putting yourself at risk of getting a stroke. Yeah? And the external carotid artery sending the blood to the face. But both of them can be clogged. Yeah? And then you have the normal, common carotid artery. And you see the blood flow to the brain. Now, not only a stroke can be caused by high blood pressure, a stroke can be caused by trauma also. So I'm going to give you a little program. You could mark it for free. And you could do that program for me. And you, number one, you're going to strengthen your blood vessels. Number two, you're going to have the blood moving quick. Number three, you're going to increase your heart health. And number four, you're going to keep the brain, vessels in the brain strong so you don't get a stroke. 15-day, 16-day program. Put it up in a while. Wonderful. Yeah? And then you have the common carotid artery dissection. You understand? You go over here. So, remember we said before that everything is blood flow. Blood has to flow. Yeah? If the blood don't move properly, you're going to have troubles. So lots of people who have high blood pressure, especially, or they have DVT, or they have afibrillation, yeah? Or they have embolism, they also can get a stroke. So you have to be careful if you do have high blood pressure and you have afibrillation, or you have what we call left ventricle hypertrophy. You have to be very careful. You see, because you are more prone to get a stroke. And we had some people on the post today, 43 years old, 46 years old, or you know, in line, 46 years old, one said 43, one said 42, had a stroke at these ages, whereby we're not supposed to, but because of our brain and the way of eating, it kills the vessels. Yeah. So we see the internal carotid artery, blood to the brain, and the external carotid artery, blood to your face. Yeah. Everything must flow good. You can't have obstruction. Yeah. Wonderful. Aneurism. Arteries that penetrate the brain tissue. Arteries that penetrates the brain tissue can rupture and cause intercerebral bleeding in the brain. I want to use the word rupture loosely. Arteries that penetrate the brain can rupture. They can rupture. And when they rupture, if you get an aneurysm and it's in your brain, you could fall down and die. You follow in the brain. So don't get that aneurysm in the brain. You will be a vegetable, and then they're going to put you on a machine, like they did Logie, and then your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend come and say, your mother and father say, listen, he's brain dead now, so you got to take him off the machine. Sad, but it is true. I just speak facts. Cerebral artery aneurysm can cause subaortic bleeding. Internal carotid artery, that's the one on the right side of the brain, of the neck. Once this artery is clogged because you have high blood pressure and the blood can't go to the brain and the brain is starving from oxygen, you will get a stroke long term. Especially if you have high blood pressure. Yeah? And that's why I tell people, do not come off your medication If you want to come off your medication, you must wean, W-E-A-N, wean yourself off with a good sound program, knowing where your pressure is coming from, because there's a pressure called essential hypertension. Essential hypertension means the doctor do not know where it's coming from. There's no causes. Yeah? But there is a cause. You call it essential hypertension. I mean, you must get it. Yeah? Now, you're looking at all these arteries and all these blood vessels. Yeah? And remember that all of them have to be strong. So when I put you on that program tonight, even though you don't have high blood pressure, if you want to prevent it, or if you have it, or if you have a stroke, I'm going to show you how you can prevent yourself from getting another stroke by strengthening your vessels and moving the blood properly so it don't clot. God is great. Yeah? So, all the vessels, they become ruptured. So all the arteries that penetrate the brain tissue can rupture, and when it rupture in that brain stem, you will just be in the bathroom taking a shower, and you're going to say, oh God, because that's what Logi said, oh God, let me just fall down in the bathroom. Because why? They ruptured the vessels in the brain because they were weak. So you and I have to strengthen the vessels. And I'm going to show you how you can do that with a 16-day program only. It's free. Yeah, pay for it. Yeah? Now, different parts of the brain can be affected by a stroke. Affected portion of the brain, the embolus, blocks blood flow to part of the brain, cutting off oxygen to the brain. The internal carotid artery is so clogged with plaque from high cholesterol and the fried foods and the greasy food that we eat after a certain age. Remember, you are not 15 years old no more. Remember, you are not 9 years old no more. You are 50. You are 35. You are 40. You're going down in age. You're going up, you're going down in age. And we eat so bad when we were younger, we didn't know better. So once we start to get older now, we still eating the fried foods. We are still eating the greasy foods. We are still eating the ham. We are still eating the bacon in the morning. And we don't work it out. We don't walk. We don't exercise. Whereby, when you were younger and in school, and nobody can say I'm lying now. When you were in school at 9 years old and you got a little break, you used to run around in the pasture. You burn up everything. But when you're 40 and 30, you stop doing that now. But you're still eating the same fried food you were eating when you were 9 years old. You start weakening your vessels. You see? So the age bracket, don't forget, you won't stay young forever. And then when you were younger, in the Caribbean countries, and lunch come, you used to walk home for lunch and walk back to school. You don't do that no more. You take a bus to go to school now. Or you're sitting behind a desk all day, just walking. You're eating the fattening foods and you're not working it out. Yeah? Wonderful. So the common carotid artery that sends the blood from the heart, because remember the heart pumps the blood through the circulatory system. Circulation is significant in keeping the bloodstream well. And because the heart muscle functions in a alkaline terrain. If the body is alkaline, 7.45, 7.5 or 7.35, your heart functions better. But lots of people living in an acid terrain. So the heart slows up the function. Yeah? So once you have the heart being lazy, once you have high blood pressure, once you have afibrillation, you start getting clots now. Clots go to the lung, you have DVT, deep vein thrombosis, because you're not working on your liver. Because to prevent DVT, you have to have good liver health. In order for you to prevent DVT, deep vein thrombosis, you must have good platelets health. Your platelets must be functioning well. In order for you to have good circulation and prevent embolism, you must have good heart health. In order for you to prevent afibrillation and cardiomyopathy and cardiomyelitis, you must have good heart health. And in order for you to have all these things working properly, you must have good digestive health. You must have good digestive health. Because everything starts in the earth system, which is the digestive system. Yeah? So, once the aorta is the biggest vein now, and you have all these little, what you call it, these valves that go back and forth, send blood up instead of sending blood back. You see? I mean, you have the left and right ventricle lower chambers of the heart muscle. You know, one deoxygenated blood, one blood out to the body. They ain't working properly because too much fried food and too much acid in the body and too much high cholesterol. Yeah. So they clog up the carotid artery, and then they put strain on your heart. And once they put strain on the heart muscle, your heart can never pump the blood to the vessel walls properly. So all the vessels and the arteries and the capillaries become weak. And they can't because there's so much pressure in the heart. Your heart becoming large now because it have to pump the blood to the vessel walls too fast. And then all these vessels and these arteries and these capillaries start getting weak and start bulging. And then you have more troubles in the circulatory system. Yeah? And then you get what you call thrombosis. Or you get heart disease. Because heart disease kills 750,000 Americans every year. The number one leading cause of death in America is heart disease. Second leading cause of death in America is cancer. Yeah? Third leading cause of death in America is drug interaction. You know what I said? I said the third leading cause of death in America is drug interaction. A man give you a drug, and they give you a next one, and they give you a next one, and they contraindicate it, and they kill you. That's the third leading cause of death in America. The fourth leading cause of death in America is complication from diabetes. Follow me. Boom. Arterial fibrillation. Once you have high blood pressure, and you have a fib in the left atrium, which picks up oxygen from the lung to send it to the left ventricle, so that your left ventricle can send the blood to the whole body, you have troubles. Because you have arterial fibrillation in the left atrium. And once you have trouble in the left atrium, you're going to have trouble in the left ventricle. And once you have trouble in the right atrium, you're going to have trouble in the right ventricle, the chambers, upper chamber and lower chamber. My nephew, I go home with a cardiologist, you know. Yeah? Wonderful. So we know for a fact that the affected portion of the brain could be this side, it could be that side. But because the carotid artery carries the blood to the brain barrier, usually all the embolism and the thrombosis ends up in the right side of the brain. So I'm going to teach you now, if you want to listen, to put you on a program for 16 days. And the purpose of the program is to strengthen your vessels, strengthen your heart, strengthen the circulatory system, strengthen the blood, move the blood from, have the blood moving properly without toxins and obstruction like acids and plaque that can block up the arteries, causing this guy here to clog you up and cause you to get a stroke long term. See, I had to learn that the hard way, and I did. And now I'm free. Thank God for that. We're going to talk about that. Because we talk about that last time, the jugular vein. We're going to talk about this one here. See that? This one here is the blood vessel carry to the arm. So that's the reason why when you get in heart attack and the blood, this one over here, the left side, you start to get numbness in the left side. You start to get trouble in your fingers because it moves from the heart into the left side. You know for a fact that you get in a stroke, because you know for a fact that this arterial blood vessel is clogged up and is causing your heart to malfunction. Right? The arterial blood vessel. And that is sending blood to all these areas over here. God is great, you know. Ain't no man can create a body like that, no matter how they try. They can't do it. You understand? Jehovah God is great. And then you have the radial artery. And you see, because blood has to move all over. The radial artery, right here. See? Blood. See that? What's that? What's this? See? What's that? See? See the finger? See? What's that? Dig that. Yeah? So the radial artery have to send the blood now from one here all the way to here to the fingers. So that you don't get pin and needles when you have diabetes, you have neuropathy. Pin and needles telling me that you don't have good blood flow. It's affecting your nerve system, you know? See? So all the radial artery, all over here. See? But they all depend on that muscle we call the heart. So if the heart is not pumping the blood to the vessel walls properly, you don't have good radial artery function. You get numbness. Follow me. The axillary artery. Look him over here. See it? Second part, first part. Arterial margin.
Sorry.
Alright. Let's go a little further. You must know your body, how it functions, you know. And everything is blood flow. First part, lateral margin of the rib cage. Because remember that, we said before, that the kidney is in between the 9th, 10th, and 11th ribs. So all work together. Lower part of the teres major. Huh? The bacterial artery. Huh? You have the subclavian artery. I tell you, my nephew is a cardiologist. I learn well. You understand? So anytime you have any kind of troubles in the heart muscle or in the circulatory system, or anytime you have troubles in the cell membranes, you are going to have troubles in the circulatory system. You see? The axillary artery. We're going to give it a step too long. And then you have the spinal column. And this is the disc. And in the disc there is nerve endings that come out. Because I was taught well back, chiropractor Dr. Joe Kerber. Worked with him for 2 years. He taught me well about the spine. So when you have what we call trouble in the spine, you have this slip disc, or you have all these troubles in the spine. You know, you can fix it if you can expand your vertebrae. Doctors can't do that though. Wonderful. Oh, give me the next picture, son.
Oh.
Whoa, you see them here? Now, this guy here, the femoral artery. You see, you must have blood flowing to your legs. And lots of people who have diabetes, they have neuropathy or they have bad circulation, so the legs get black, foot get black. Why black, Patrick? Because there's no blood flow. Because the femoral artery, in receiving, nothing is clogged up with high cholesterol and plaque. So you get numbness in the legs. You get all pain in the legs. You can't move your legs properly because there's no blood flow, man. Because this artery, all the blood goes from the bottom, from the waist down. So everything is what? Patrick does circulation. You must have good circulation. You must have good platelets. You can't cause or create what we call platelet aggravation. And that comes from where, Patrick? From the heart. But the heart depends on the digestive system. So, Patrick, it comes from the digestive system also. Yeah? Wonderful. So, everything is blood flow. So, you need the blood from the foot to the head and from the head to the toe. And you have the hepatic artery. And this guy right here is in your liver. And the hepatic artery, don't forget, hepatic means the liver now. The common hepatic artery, what he does, he picks up all the deoxygenated blood from the body and he sends it to the inferior vena cava of the liver. And all the old dirty waste coming from the brain send that dirty deoxygenated blood to the superior vena cava. And they both meet up together, if I'm wrong, correct me now. And then they send it to the right atrium, and then the right atrium send it to the right ventricle, and then the right ventricle send it to the what? To the pulmonary vein, and it chucks it out as carbon dioxide or waste products, and pick back up 21% of oxygen from the atmosphere, and come back into the left ventricle, into the left atrium, into the left ventricle, and blood flow all over. And this organ right here receives 25% of the blood that is moved by your heart muscle. So the hepatic artery is very significant, man. Because once you have clotting, you must work on your liver. If you don't work on your liver and create all the peptides, you can never fix DVT. Never ever. You're going to stay on the drug, you're going to stay on Eloquest forever, or Coumadin forever, or warfarin, same drug forever. You can't come off. Because they know how to fix it. Wonderful. The posterior tibial artery. See what it does? See that? See where the blood flow? Woo! To your toes. But where does the blood come from? Your heart. Your heart is like that water pump. It must pump. Because if you drive in a vehicle and that gas pump give up, because there is all clogging of all these things in your gas pump, what will happen to your car? Your car starts to shake around and it's going to stop. Your engine going to die because now the gas pump can't pump. So God is so great. The man look at God and he say, let me create a gas pump just like God put a heart in you know what I'm saying? All the things they put in your vehicle and your plane come from God's creation. Give him the glory. Jehovah God. Yahweh. So this posterior tibial artery, the blood must come down here. And that's why when diabetics have neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy is because the blood is not flowing properly because they mash up the nerves. Why? Because they kept their sugar levels high for a long period of time, and that happens over 5 years of keeping your sugar level high. You want to stay too long? What causes aneurism and strokes? High blood pressure, abdominal blood flow in arteries, or what we call atherosclerosis or trauma. If it was an accident, you can get a stroke too. So these are the causes. Yeah? Abnormal blood flow. This one is significant. Abnormal blood flow in the arteries. And if you have abnormal blood flow, it's because your heart isn't working well. So I want you to work on your heart. Keep your heart healthy. And when you keep your heart healthy, you're going to keep the circulatory system well now. All right. How to strengthen the blood vessels. Now, this is the program I'm going to put you on now. If you want to mark it down now, you can. But you're going to go to the website. You're going to download it for free. Not a penny going to cost you. Yeah? And I'm going to teach you how to do it. How to strengthen your blood vessels. Using herbs. Horse chestnut. Ginkgo. Cardinsonia. Cinnamon. Small capillaries. Rosemary. Gota cola. Spanish wrong with prickly ash. Hot and leaf and flower. Turmeric. Cat's claw. If you have an enlarged heart. Don't forget. Turmeric. Cat's claw. If you have an enlarged heart. Don't forget. Turmeric. Cat's claw. Mistletoe. And ginger. If you have an enlarged heart. You must put these in. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have an enlarged heart, meaning that your systolic number is too high. Yeah? And you're going to bring it down. So the systolic number is so high, 180 systolic, 200 systolic. It's causing the heart to pump too hard, to work too hard. Because the heart needs space to pump the blood. If your heart don't have no space, it can't do the job. So when your heart has space, it pumps. Yeah? But if your heart becoming large, because the top number is so high, it starts to have no space, so your heart becoming large. These herbs over here, right here, don't turmeric, cat's claw, mistletoe, ginger, they prevent enlarged heart, or they can cause the heart to go back to the normal size. Don't forget them now. Cat's claw, Cassandra berry. If there is trouble in the endocrine system, mother's word to calm the heart muscle and act as an emmenagogue. This herb here acts as an emmenagogue. Oh, this is cool tonight. This herb here acts as an emmenagogue. Make things flow. Make the heart move the blood like hot and leaf and flower. And hot and give the heart a stronger contraction. And it prevents plaque from forming on the walls of the arteries. Whereby this guy here walks on the bottom from the waist down, boop, circulation. This guy here walks from the top up, boop, circulation to the brain. This guy here walks on the vascular integrity because he's strengthening the veins. Yeah. Yeah. Mistletoe, mother's wort, lycium fruit, ginger, garlic, and onions. So we're going to put that up on the side and tell you what you have to do. We're going to do it here now, but on the side it's going to be more in detail, and we're going to tell you how to strengthen your blood vessels, and then man can see you, period. Yeah. How to strengthen the blood vessels. Foods to strengthen the blood vessels. Gooseberries, strawberries, raspberries, black grapes, sorrel, cantaloupe, watermelon. If you want to mix these together, leave the watermelon out. You cannot use watermelon with any other fruit. Eat watermelon alone or leave it alone. Yeah? So these here can be used. We're gonna make up a drink in a little while to show you how to do it. And then they will strengthen the blood vessels. And they call them because they have carotenoids, terpenoids, flavonoids, all kind of noise they have. And the purpose of these foods is to keep the blood vessels strong. They don't get weak. So when the blood is moving, they don't collapse and cause you to get an aneurism or weak blood vessels. You understand? Or cause them plaque to form in the wall of your arteries. Yeah.
Why do you have to eat watermelon by itself though?
Because it spoils digestion of the other fruits. So when they get to the digestive system, the watermelon don't stay long. Watermelon only stay about 15 minutes or less. If you eat it with an orange, then the orange is slow. The orange take half an hour.
I got you.
An orange is very acidic, yeah? Mark it down for me. 16-day program. Day 1. May 2nd. That's going to start on what? May 2nd is Monday?
Yeah.
May 2nd. Day 1, May 2nd. Cleansing of the GI tract. We're going to tell you how to do that first. If you have a weak heart, make sure you talk to your cardiologist first. And do not come off your medication either. Alright? Don't say, Patrick, you come off your medication now. Day 2, May 3rd. All herbs mentioned above should be mixed together and taken 3 times per day with 3 glasses of distilled water for the next 2 days. A glass of warm water with 1 drop of peppermint oil every day. Don't forget, a glass of warm water with 1 drop of essential peppermint oil every day. If you have preliminary hypertension, that's going to go in and it's going to fix your preliminary hypertension because they're going to clean up all the vessels from the lung to the heart because the lung controls the heart and the heart controls the lung. Yeah? Wonderful. May 5th. So you're going to do these things here for 2 days. Whoop. And then on May 5th, which is the 3rd day after starting the program, you're going to juice aged garlic, not Chinese garlic. You're going to juice turmeric. And don't come to me with Dr. Siri. I don't want to hear nothing with Dr. Siri, but no guys. Don't come to me with Dr. Siri in my program. Alright? He has his own thing, I have my own thing. Wonderful. Juice, garlic. Use 1 peck of garlic, turmeric. And that's to prevent the heart from becoming enlarged, inflammation. You're going to use ginger to prevent afibrillation or fix afibrillation. That is in my heart formula. Yeah? You're going to use celery, 1 red, green, and yellow bell peppers, 1 green apple, and 1 beet, and a handful of parsley, and 1 cucumber, and you're going to drink that 3 to 4 to 5 glasses per day if you can afford it, and you're going to drink 3 glasses of distilled water. 16 days. We had a cancer patient today come back in today and said, my goodness, I did chemotherapy, look at my fingers. Eh? Miss B, I hope you're watching. All my fingers, I did a program for 30 days, and she said she feels so good. Because they want to give her immunotherapy. But we put on a program. And she feel good. She ain't tired, she ain't sick, she get her appetite back. She lost some weight now. But if you see her today, she's amazed. It's only telling us that all your cures are found in your midst, in nature. God created them for us to use for healing. We don't have no discipline, that's the reason why. So, on May 5th, juices, garlic, turmeric, ginger, celery, red, green, and yellow peppers. 1 green apple for neutralization. 1 beet, 1 handful of parsley, only a handful of parsley, and 1 cucumber, and 3 glasses of distilled water. 3 cups of the herbal teas, and you can take tricardia. There's a company called Vaxa International, a doctor made by some cardiologists. What it does, it can block the arteries naturally. Yeah, you can do it with herbs. You can take tricardia 4 capsules. You can take 4 garlic 106. Garlic 106. Where are you? See it, Mark? 1 circulation. Yeah. Garlic 106. I use it all the time regularly. Keep my heart healthy too. Because it have heartburn and it have cayenne pepper, and cayenne pepper is very significant for the heart. Yeah, wonderful. I'm going to cook with 10 too. Garlic 106. Glass of warm water with 1 drop of peppermint oil every day, and continue from the 5th of May to the 8th of May 2022. I'm going to leave it for about 5-10 seconds. You can mark it down for me. Yeah? And if you want, you could add some sea moss if you want to too. Yeah? Wonderful. You get some sea moss. See? And bone, you're going to sea moss. We're going to show you to do that tonight also. Mark them down for me. If not, you can always go to patrickdellsHolisticHealing.com, and you're going to see there for free by tomorrow. Yeah? Tomorrow, maybe on Saturday morning, you're going to see there. We're going to be back in Grenada this weekend. Yeah? Wonderful. So that's what I got to go from May 2nd. If you can't start on May 2nd, you can start another day. But start in May. Yeah? I bring the new month. And you could use these things like that. That's a 16-day program. And that program will keep your vessel strong. It's going to prevent strokes. It's going to prevent aneurism. It's going to keep the heart moving. And it's going to prevent atrial fibrillation. And if you don't have atrial fibrillation, it's going to fix it. You want to use the word cure. Day 16 again. On the 8th of May to the 16th of May, you're going to blend gooseberries, raspberries, blackberries, black grapes with the seeds, sorrel, cantaloupe, no watermelon, take it out, with coconut water or apple juice. Yeah? So all these are going to be here except the watermelon. Take it out with coconut water, or you can put it in some apple juice. You can juice your apples in a juicer, and then you can put the juice in a blender, and you can mix them together because they're all brothers and sisters. Yeah? And 6 glasses of distilled water every day. Lentil peas soup. It's called a primary food. Primary foods. Yeah? You're going to mix it with some garlic, onions, green, yellow peppers, and you're going to have a glass of warm water with 1 drop of peppermint oil every morning that you rise, with a pinch of cayenne pepper and 1 lemon in the water. And drink that. And what that does, it moves the breeze from your digestive system and prepare it for what you're going to put in for the day. And you're going to have good bowel movement. You're going to be resting your organs. And then they're going to respond to you. You're going to see how good you're going to feel. Trust what I'm telling you, man. And you're going to go back to the doctor and say, oh, shoot, your pressure is wild. Your pressure is good. What did they do? I did some herbs from the Most High God. Yeah, wonderful. Glass of water with 1 drop of pepper. Brain steam. Brain steam. We're going to show you the brain steam now. Have a gallon of water, especially if you had a stroke. That's what I did. I steam my brain. I steam it. And I steam it. Till I go mad and I steam it again. Eh? Watch it now. Brain steam. Half a gallon of water. 6 to 10 drops of peppermint oil according to how bad the stroke is and how much you can take the steam. If you can't take all this, the steam is too hot, you're gonna take about 3 to 4 drops of peppermint oil. I just use 10 drops because I want it to be very strong. 10 drops of peppermint oil, 10 drops of eucalyptus oil, 1 drop of turpentine. Mix in the warm water with hot and leaf and hot and flour, and that should be inhaled 3 minutes for 15 minutes, and always before you go to bed, so you could have a good way to dream and you can sleep well. But in the process, what this guy here do, this steam right here, he goes in and you try to steam him up, and he goes into the mucous membranes, and any kind of mucus that is there, he pulls it out. Number 1, pull the mucus out, and then again he goes up in the sinuses, and because you have sinuses in your brain now, frontal passage, submaxillary, and he goes up in the one in the brain, and start draining the sinuses in your brain, and you see all the mucus that's coming out in your mouth, in your nose. You start to breathe it out, and in the process, he's moving the blood in the brain because there is hot and leaf and flour there too to move the blood, and any plaque up there, he start moving the plaque out of the walls up there in your brain. I'm giving all you the secret, yeah. And when you do that, the leaf and the flour in the tea, and you steam him, because he needs circulation. He gonna send the blood to the brain, and he also did in the heart. So he's helping the heart at the same time, and all of these over here is helping the mucous membranes, to function. And then every night for 16 nights, you do that stuff, man. You're gonna see you get no sinuses. You don't get no allergies. Nothing. Because now you know what now? You are cleaning all the mucous membranes, and you are producing the minimum amount of mucin from the mucous membranes. Yeah? Mark it down for me. Take it off. Otherwise you have to go to the website to get it. Wonderful. Here you go. Oh, you have it? Oh, you have it? Oh, you have it? Oh, you have it? Wonderful. Come, sir. Coconut water in your blender. Strawberries. Yeah? Chocolate the coconut, throw it in there. Lamente, this is very good. They have a lot of flavonoids too. You can eat it when you're on the program. CMOS, yeah. Unsweetened cranberry. And then you have your blackberries, you have your blueberries, you have your raspberries, you have your grapes with the seeds, and you have your strawberries now. And you're going to take that and you go throw that inside in a little blender already. Yeah? Yeah, man, you go blend them up. Yeah, you go blend them up nice. You can't eat no pork on my thing. Yeah? And you can also add some apples, or you can add some cantaloupe. Yeah? And you want to put some lycium fruit. Yeah? Some lycium fruit. Yeah? Circulation. Yeah? And then you will blend them up. Yeah. Take him out. Yeah? So here what I just do now. Yeah? When I put him in my glass, you see him there now? Yeah. I go and I take my little healthy heart now. You understand, my son? And I throw 40 drops inside him. I take him 1, I take him 2, and I put him inside there. And because I know I want to prevent strokes, I take in my brain. And I heard something in my brain, circulation to my brain, and I put 40 drops in my brain. 20, and I put a 40. And then I come back now, and I go for my circulation, clean up my arteries, prevent plaque from forming in the walls of my arteries. And I go so and I put in 40 inside there too. I put 20, and I put 40. I might even put 60, because I want the little boy, I want the penis to work hard too. I put another 60 or 80 drops inside there. Yeah? You know? And then I come, and I take a little spoon. Yeah? And then I go in my cupboard and I put in some B complex in a liquid form. See my cupboard? See them? See? Potential inside it. Yeah? Zinc. Green. Yeah? And I put them in. Yeah? Put some. See? And then I come and I take some vitamin C buffered. And I put them in there too. Yeah, and I stir him up. Yeah. See? 16 days. You do this for 16 days for me. Just follow that program for 16 days. Especially if you have atrial fibrillation, if you have cardiomyopathy, if you have high blood pressure, if you have blood vessel disease, if you have high cholesterol. 15, 16 days. You just do this for me. And you're going to see, you're going to feel like a lion. You're going to see all your blood moving properly. And you would never get blood vessel disease because you're going to strengthen your vessels. Yes, that's it. Almost done. You see how to stay young. Because I know at my age bracket, I can't afford to be sitting down and eating no fried food and greasy food and hot dogs and spam and bacon in the morning. At my age bracket. I'm going to get sick eventually. I'm going to get heart disease. Because these foods have lots of bad fats. And they clog up your arteries. They give you high cholesterol. And then you don't work out no more. You don't take a walk no more. You get to be 30. You have 2 kids and you feel you're old. No. You got to get up and walk. Take a little walk around. At least 5 to 10 minutes walk around your house. Go in your bathroom and sweat. You know what I mean? And when you sweat, now you're moving the blood and the heart working for you. But you go home in the evening time, you're so tired, you go to the fridge, you take up some chicken, you take up some pasta, some macaroni and cheese, and you're going to boil it up and you eat that. It's 8 o'clock in the night time, and then you go to in your bed at 10 o'clock. You see, I can drink that in the night, because it moves out. But when you go and sit down and eat a big meal in the night time, oh man, you're in trouble. You cannot do what you were doing when you were 9 and 10 and 15 years old. You can't do it no more. You can't. Unless you are putting yourself in a situation to move the blood and keep the heart strong. You know what I mean? And strengthen your vessels by exercising and walking and eating the right foods. But you are 35, you have high blood pressure. You are 19 and 25 now, you have high blood pressure. You are 40 and 45, you're getting a stroke. And then you can't move. You have to do like this. And put it over here. And you have to walk with a stick. That is not a quality of life. It is not. I've been there. I could teach you. So I want you all to find out, anybody who have a stroke, look for a hyperbaric chamber therapy. Look for that. Had a stroke. And talk to a doctor who is schooled in that kind of treatment, and let them put you in a hyperbaric chamber. What that does is send oxygen to the brain and start rebuilding back up the cerebrospinal fluid to the brain and start building back your cells. And you see you recover faster. But the medical system, lots of them do not know about putting you in a hyperbaric chamber. California full of them. Dr. Terry Carlson, she knows what it is. Yeah? So what you do now is, see this thing right here? If you want to prevent someone from getting a stroke, you can take one of these. Yeah? Yeah? There's poles, North Pole, South Pole, East Pole, West Pole. See them here? Yeah? See that here? And you can put it right on the top of the air, up here. Right there. Yeah? Stick it on right there.
Yeah, my mom.
Your mom does do that, right?
Yeah.
Your mom know what's going on, man. Your mother know what's going on. And you stick one up in the top of the air again. Yeah? Right up there. Right? And anytime you see somebody getting a stroke, or they feel like they can't talk, you come in and do like this. You squeeze them. And then it start to move the blood. It start to work on the meridian, the channels, and the channels start moving the blood. Yeah? And then all of a sudden, the blood start moving. It can't clot, and then you can take them to the ER.
Pricking the same place too.
Yeah, you can take a lancet, like just check your sugar level with, and you can prick that area too. Just prick it, toop, toop, and let the blood flow. Just kind of cup it, let the blood flow. If the person's getting a stroke, and you can prevent that person from becoming an invalid after doing that. So you can get them. You follow me? It's a lot of things I have to teach all you, boy. A lot of things, man. See? Come over here, son. Almost done. So let me do that here now. When we do this, prick the hair, we're moving the blood. We're increasing the meridians to the brain. Yeah? Yin and yang. Yeah? And then all of a sudden, you see the stroke patient who get a stroke no more. Take that. Alright, son. Blessed love. So the program is going to be up. It's going to be for free. It's not everything is about dollars and cents. We live in America for too long. Caribbean people start to function like how we used to function in the Caribbean long time. You come from the field, you come with some fig or some bananas, you give your neighbor some of it, and you keep some. That is what we call communal. Socialism, I call it. Not capitalism, socialism. We socialize with what we have. You come from the market, you come with some mangoes, you come with 6, you give your neighbor 2. That's how we used to live in the Caribbean. Some of us still live that way in Grenada and some of the Caribbean countries. But because we come in America and we have to live as the Romans do, everything in America is about that thing, dollars and cents. We have to move away from that. Yeah? So go to the site, it's patrickdelsHolisticHealing.com, or you can get a mixture from Ambrosia Health Foods, 3306 Church Avenue, or 718-469-0985. Become a brother. Ashanti is on the live. Or go to the site patrickdelsHolisticHealing.com, and you can download that program. You're going to have a little bit more things in there, and it will start on the 2nd, so we're going to put it up on either Saturday morning or Saturday evening, and you can follow that program. It is free. You have to pay a penny for it. And then we want you to pass it on to somebody else who you know is prone to getting a stroke. You understand? Or if you know somebody who have a stroke, pass it on to them, please. And you can call the number is 888-496-4770. Ask for Angel on hand, and she will talk to me. Because remember that I'm a busy person. I can't answer the phone every day. I don't have a phone in my hand all day. People seem to get angry. I don't have a phone in my hand all day. Look, my son right here. I sit down all day working, making up stuff to send out to help people. I can't afford to be sitting on that phone all day and, hello, yes, I have high blood pressure, yes, how can I help you? I have high blood pressure. I can't do that. So what I'm going to do when I'm in Grenada, I'm going to Grenada this weekend, and I'm going to spend, I'm going to take 1 day out of every week, and I'm going to just take everybody's questions, and I'm going to give you some answers. Okay, so 1 day in every week. When I'm home in Grenada, I'm going to make sure that I spend at least 25 minutes, taking questions and giving answers. Okay, all right, because I want to give back to the people who support me. Blessed love to everybody. All right, heart health, brain support, circulation formula. Get them things and go on the program and see a difference in how you feel. Blessed love. Give thanks. Yeah, man. It's a love. All right, it's a love, everybody. Give thanks and praises to the Most High. And Caribbean people, don't forget, we have to live in a communal level. If we have a neighbor that don't have something, give the neighbor what you have. Give us something. It's good to give than to receive. Yeah, okay. All right. Knock on heaven's door. Blessed love to everybody. Good night. Peace. See you all in Grenada on Sunday. Blessed love. Give thanks.